Good morning, everyone, and thank you guys so much for joining us. We really have a crazy week in the markets this week. In pre-market, we have the SPY running up a little bit. But yeah, we really have a crazy week, guys. Thank you guys so much for joining the stream. Welcome, Shark, Mason, Iraq, Sylvia. Thank you guys so much for joining. We really appreciate it. Thank you so much, Dial. Let us know what stocks you're watching this morning. Tom and I will cover them. We have you saying got debit spreads for coin. What is it? The $292.50 and then the 295 option calls. It looks like so that looks great. Good morning, Click. So yeah, let us know what you guys are watching. Tom, do you have any top stocks you're watching this morning before open? Any major news? Anything?
Yeah, I know a lot of people were actually looking out for Coin this week, COIN, and it's actually looking very nice today in pre-market. I know they said they had that debit spread, and it's really looking nice all the way up to 306 in pre-market, kind of consolidating at 304 right now. So watch out for Coin. People said that people have been saying that Bitcoin went up over the weekend slash BTC. Let's go check it. Yeah, wow, all the way back up to 54,000 from lows around 48,000 at least on the futures. So it's looking very nice for Bitcoin. I'm sure that some of the other cryptos are popping up too. So overall, that's just what's really making coin look very nice this morning. And then also the SPY's looking very nice, coming back up, especially right before open here, having a lot of green. We might hit new highs today around 418.25.
We're getting really close, especially the way the market's moving right now. Like, look at the SPY. It's starting to rally up right before open. Highs are right around $418.25. But if we go back to the chat, welcome, sir. Welcome, Matthew. I am Fierce. Raphael. Thank you guys so much for joining us. And guys, don't forget to text us. Text stocked up to 39970 for market updates, special alerts, and things like that. We have Matthew saying, "Can you cover J&J?" Let's take a look at it. What do you think?
Yeah, I don't know. They've had that news with that vaccine lately, and they said that they're going to be allowing that vaccine again, but it's looking pretty nice. I mean, it did hit a resistance lately around 168, and it is kind of consolidating, trying to come back up to that level again. I'm not sure if we're going to do that today or not, though. The news has not been too good with their vaccine, but we'll have to see what happens. I mean, we might see some good movement, but they went ahead and unpaused the vaccine so that they can use it again. So we'll just have to see what goes on with the stock. I personally am a little bit bearish on it, just given what's been going on. But even though it's been nice, the stock's still been going up. So, or even with that bad news, the stock's still going up, I should say.
Yeah, I'm pretty neutral on it. I wouldn't say I'm bearish, but I'm definitely not bullish either. We do have a pretty strong resistance coming up right around like 167, 168, you can say. So I just kind of like want to keep my eyes on it and play it from there. But looks like the market is opened up. Let's take a look. We have the SPY. What is the SPY doing? It's doing nothing. I'm curious on coin because I actually have some cash secured puts on them. Super far out of the money. I think I have the 200 strike puts that, what is it? I think they expire this week or next week. Either way, they're super far out of the money. I was also watching CCIV. That one's up a little bit. Palantir it's up, but it's coming down. I was also watching Square, which is up a little bit. Workhorse coming down a little bit. Let's see what the top movers are this morning. Tesla, Tom. Look, it's breaking 745. Look at Tesla.
Yeah, let's go look at Tesla. It looks amazing. Oh, wow, look at that. All the way up to, like you said, 745. Looking really good off of open. I'm pretty surprised. We saw SPY kind of go red off open, although it is looking better now. But yeah, Tesla's looking fantastic today. Going into earnings tonight, Mike, after close. So definitely watch out. There's going to be some volatility heading into that. We do have an upper resistance here around $780 on Tesla. So watch out. Also watch out for like 750 somewhere around there, the high of last Thursday. So I think there's going to be a lot of movement on Tesla. It's looking fantastic, especially on that 1 minute chart. I mean, man, two great candles at open, just extending way up here now. Now at 748. So the movement continues with Tesla, and man, it just continues to be that hot stock that everybody wants to trade.
For sure, and like you said, they do have earnings tonight, so it looks like we're seeing the pre-earnings run-up. So we really are in for a crazy week. A lot of big things happening in the market this week. Let us know what you guys are watching. Let us know what stocks you're watching. We have Mason asking about NIO. Well, I mean, Tesla. Wait, hold on, Tom. we have to go back to Tesla. It just soared right through resistance again. It actually just hit almost 749. Now it's coming back down, but wow, I mean this one's definitely moving. So we'll definitely keep our eye on it. If we go back to Neo though, Neo's actually breaking resistance too. It has resistance right around $42. Yeah, it looks like it's breaking. It's starting to run up now. Lots of buyers coming in. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it for a day trade. It looks pretty good. If we can see continued movement out of it, it would be great. It's looking awesome off the SMAs, but as I'm talking now, it just turned red and it actually came down below 4180. So it looks like it just took a big reverse, big reverse just now. And let's go see if Tesla did a reverse just like this. Not quite as bad, but Tesla is starting to come back down as well. So we're gonna have to see what goes on. But man, that was a crazy couple candles there, and NIO just exploding, breaking out, and then falling all within those couple minutes right there.
For sure. And then we have Raphael saying good morning. Check out AMC, OCGN, and MVIS. So let's take a look. If we have AMC, it's actually popping up around 6.5% already. It's breaking resistance right around $10.75. The daily looks pretty decent. Like, honestly, this is not a bad setup.
Yeah, it's not bad. It looks like it might be another runner here on AMC. I mean, AMC is always a risky stock to trade, but it looks like it's running right now, up, like you said, 6%, moving pretty well today. And it's a big runner when it runs in the past. And Mike, I know that you've made a lot of money on GME and AMC in the past. And man, if it keeps running, there could be some pretty good opportunities come out of this.
For sure, for sure. And then he's also asking about OCGN, which is up around 15.5% today. Wow. Yeah, these things are really moving. I know it popped a ton on Friday and really pulled back, but this one I'm a little less confident in because it is making lower highs, and I don't know. I'm just like, it's not a bad setup. It's just not like an amazing setup.
Yeah, for sure. And on Friday we did see some pretty bad movement out of OCGN as well. It had a pretty bad move to the downside, so definitely watch out. I mean, yeah, obviously it gapped up, but it just had a very volatile day to say the least, and that's probably why it's up 15% today. Well, you can see that that's why, because if we went up to highs of 1365, we'd be up way more than 15%.
Indeed. And then MVIS, this one is up around 18%. And they have earnings this week as well. They have strong resistance right around 22. It looks like they broke the pre-market high, which is good to see. But yeah, I mean, it's up like almost 17. Yeah, it's up 17% already today. So I don't know. It's definitely one of those volatile ones.
Yeah, and over the past 10 days, that stock MVIS Microvision is up around 100%, having lows around $10 and now hitting around 21. So it's definitely an insane stock. Today, it's starting to break out on the 1 minute. It's looking pretty nice, actually. It just hit 2150. So if it can keep running, it would be a pretty good stock. And it seems like every day, this MVIS, over the past couple weeks at least, has just been rocketing. It just seems like nothing can stop it right now.
Yep, and let's take a look at some of the hot movers this morning. Looks like we have PayPal rocketing to the upside. It's definitely breaking out. IV is rising a little bit. If I look at a longer term chart, yeah, I mean, it doesn't look bad at all, but that movement, it looks like it definitely has some potential for the rest of the day.
Yeah, for sure. PayPal is one of those pretty good stocks, and I really like it actually, especially on the daily chart. It's looking like today's a pretty good green candle, and we have some resistance around 277, maybe 275. So watch out on the way up to there. We're around 6 points away. This is a pretty high price stock though, around 269. So definitely watch out. I'm sure it can get a little bit pricey, but we'll definitely watch out for that resistance around 270, 250 intraday as well. I really like the way this one's moving actually off of this upper resistance here. It's looking pretty nice.
Yep, and then let's go back to the SPY, Tom. It looks like we are rallying on the day so far. It looks like we had a little chop towards open, but nothing too bad. We're just slow but steadily moving to that all-time high, which is good to see. I'm curious if we're going to break all-time highs today. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I think we might. It just seems like every day the SPY is breaking new highs, so definitely watch out for it. I think it might happen. We're having a lot of momentum to the upside right now, especially if stocks like NIO, Tesla, and others continue their ascent to the upside this morning. It'll be pretty good for the SPY and just the overall markets. And Man, we're still kind of just rocketing up on the SPY. It's not really more of a rocket as it is just like a slow and steady stair step to the upside, but it's looking like a pretty solid trade today up to these highs. I wouldn't expect it to really hit anywhere on the way up and get rejected, but it could always happen. So definitely watch out. Be ready if you're getting some calls. It might have a little pullback eventually, but I will say it's looking awesome above those highs, and nothing can stop the SPY. Every day we're just hitting new highs, and it's just looking fantastic for the overall market. But at the same time, it's like we're getting so high that we're almost due for a pullback eventually.
Yeah, like I was doing a lot of research over the weekend. Like I was just looking at like big orders. Like I forgot the exact ticker, but I saw some institution put like over like $150 million into SPY puts. And while those can definitely be a hedge, maybe they're not a hedge. Maybe this earnings season will be horrible. Maybe Biden will say something bad this week. Maybe Powell will raise interest rates. Like who knows? You know what I mean? But I saw a lot of pretty large orders for the SPY to the downside. Like I said, they can definitely be a hedge. Because some of these institutions have a portfolio worth $100 billion in just a SPY, and they'll buy puts as like insurance. So I don't know. We're definitely in for an interesting week. Let us know what stocks you guys are watching. You guys want us to cover. Right now we have Fubo and SKLZ popping up a little bit. I was doing some research like to see what Cathie Wood was buying, and she was really buying the dip on SKLZ. She bought a ton of it over the past like couple weeks, and it looks pretty good. I was actually playing some cash secured puts on it a while ago, but it definitely doesn't look bad. Like she was buying the dip. Do you have any thoughts on this one, Tom? Any resistance levels? Anything you're watching out for?
Yeah, off of technicals, it's actually looking great. It moved above the 1,000 SMA on the 15-minute chart, as well as it's holding the 100 SMA. So it's looking pretty good, holding two of those key SMA levels there, as well as it's above the resistance that was around 16. And then also right now, if it breaks, like let's just say it breaks $20, that seems like a very solid resistance. It hit right around 1985 and then fell on Thursday. But if we can break $20, I think it would be amazing on SKLZ. And whenever we look at that daily chart, there's a ton of movement still to the upside. I mean, it had highs of $46 and it hit lows of $12.50 just a few days ago. So there's definitely a lot of potential on this stock, and it's good to see Cathie buying it. A lot of people are probably buying shares down here low, probably following Cathie right now, and it's probably a good thing. I mean, this stock looks like it has a lot of room to recover, and if we see even like a half recovery on this, it'll still go up about 50% from the stock price right now. So there's definitely a lot of movement, lots of potential here, and it's always one of those hot stocks. Like we always see SKLZ and Fubo, and people are always talking about them and hyping them up. So it's looking pretty good actually.
For sure. Yeah, and then they also have earnings pretty soon. I'm trying to pull up the short interest on SKLZ right now. I'm waiting for the stock bot to give me the data, but yeah, it's definitely good. It looks like it's trying to run up. So the short float is 23.5%, and that's it's nothing like the GME short levels where it's over 100%, but it's definitely pretty high. 23.5% short float. So it looks like over the past couple weeks and even the past couple months, the shorts were really pushing this one down. And then if we go back to NIO, this one could not hold above resistance at 42, and right now it's actually about to retest support at 41.50.
Yeah, for sure. This is a crazy stock today. I can't believe how volatile it's been, hitting these new highs, breaking out, and then falling as hard as it's been doing. And man, let's go check out Tesla again. Sometimes they follow each other. And yeah, Tesla's even starting to come back down now. So I'm not surprised NIO is starting to go lower from its opening price. It's still around the open of pre-market, so watch out. And it's still above Friday, so it's still not terrible, but this movement is definitely looking pretty negative today. If we start coming down and we break like $41, that would be a pretty bad thing to see out of NIO and some of these EV stocks. And I think a lot of people are expecting this stock to have a lot more volatility today to the upside rather than the downside, especially with Tesla, but man, if Tesla starts pulling back and if Tesla keeps coming to the downside, I think it's just going to drag NIO down all day, unfortunately. And NIO has been up so much like the past 5 days that I wouldn't be surprised if it came back down and retested $40.
For sure. And everyone who just joined the stream, guys, just let us know what stocks you're watching and we'll take a look. We have Mark asking about Square. So let's take a look. Square is not really doing anything this morning. It tried to run up, but now it's pulling back a little bit. It has a major resistance right around 254. I have support right around 244. And it also has a resistance level right around 250. So, Tom, do you have any extra thoughts on this one or anything like that?
Yeah, it's looking interesting. I think it's in a pretty good setup, though, to the upside. I think it looks decent. A lot of people say that Bitcoin has been affecting Square a lot lately with what they've been doing. And I think that if Bitcoin goes up, it will obviously help Square a little bit, but not too much. I will say this morning it's looking pretty decent, especially above 251 if it rises back above that. But overall, the direction looks like it's heading back to the upside. After hitting that support over the past few days, it was starting to come down quite a bit from 275 all the way down to 240. So watch for it to kind of start to pop back up, I think. I don't think it's going to stay down forever.
Sounds good. And then we have Power saying, what do you think about AT&T? I have some July puts. So I like it to the upside. I like it to the upside. Always, always, always trust your own gut. But from the analysis I did, I like it to the upside. They have a support level right around $31, and they have a pretty strong resistance right around 32. If it breaks above 32, its next resistance would be right around 33.
Yeah, for sure. And this stock can be a pretty good long-term stock. I just saw Urax, he asked about stocks to add for the long term and any dividend players. And this is a great one, actually. AT&T, they pay a great dividend, and they're pretty good for the long term. They're also pretty low right now. They have highs over the past few years around $42. So I think that there could be a lot of good movement out of AT&T. And it's just one of those good companies that you can buy and hold for a long time, and it's just solid.
Yep, and then we have you are, like you said, asking about some long-term stocks. Like the dividend one, like you said, AT&T is good. I really like DraftKings. They don't pay a dividend, but I like them, just their shares. I like ZM. What are some other ones? CCIV isn't bad. NIO isn't bad. I'm trying to think. I mean, if you wanted to get risky, like I don't like to play too risky with this stuff, but like, Workhorse is at a pretty decent level. Everyone loves to buy into these stocks when they're breaking all-time highs at $40 with Workhorse, or what is it, like $60 with NIO? Like $67 with NIO. So you can really scoop them up for a pretty low price if you like them. Like I said, it is riskier, but I think DraftKings and Zoom are relatively safe, especially at the levels that they're currently at.
Yeah, definitely. And some of my favorite ones are these are a little safer, like Triple M, Lockheed Martin, Boeing. Boeing's a little bit risky right now, though, given the movement, but Triple M's been one of my favorite dividend stocks over the past couple of years, and it's still moving up nicely. Actually, just broke out above $200. It has been going up so much the past year that we might see a little bit of a pullback on it, but it's a pretty slow and steady stock that pays a decent dividend, and I think that'd be my favorite dividend stock for the longer run. It also has highs all the way up here around 260, so there's still a lot of movement, even though the stock has moved like 80 points over the past year.
For sure. And then we have I'm Fear saying, do you think SKX is overextended? So let's take a look. SKX, I wouldn't say that. Like, they are kind of like a slow and steady, like they've been in like a slow and steady uptrend. Of course, they had an amazing day on Friday. They just popped up, but I wouldn't say that they're overextended. Even if I look at their max weekly chart, they do look a little overextended, but I don't think it's anything crazy. I think we've seen a lot more significant movement overextended plays, you can say. But yeah, what are your thoughts?
I think it looks pretty overextended, actually. I mean, it's looking pretty good if we go to that long-term daily chart. All-time highs are around 54, 53, so definitely be a little careful. We're getting pretty close to that. It does look a little overextended, and that gap up looks a little bit scary. Sometimes in the past, it gaps up like that, though, and keeps running, like we saw when it passed above 25 and ran up to 54. Definitely watch out. I mean, it's pretty crazy to me to see this chart on Skechers. I would not expect them to look this volatile just for a shoe company like this.
True that. And then we have Royal asking about Palantir. So let's take a look at it. I know this one had a lot of people watching it last week. It's up around 1.5% this morning. It tried to run up, what was it, a couple minutes ago, but it's pulling back a little bit right now. They do have a really strong resistance right around 24, and they got rejected off that. Right now, I like it for the long term. If you're looking to like day trade it or something like that, I'm not a huge fan. I'm trying to see what's moving right now for day trades. We have AMD moving a lot, GS moving, X, Apple even, Snap's moving a little bit. So I like it for the long term. I'm not a huge fan of Palantir for a day trade though.
Yeah, me either. I mean, it's just looking pretty flat today. Not flat, but very volatile. Like it moved up initially, now it's down. So now it's almost neutral in the middle of the range. I personally don't like it unless it breaks out above 24, which it easily could today given what Palantir does, but watch out for some consolidation. It's in a range kind of between like 21 and 28 on the daily. So be careful. It might head back up to that upper level eventually, but it might take quite a few days of consolidation. Like we've seen, in the past, we've seen this stock really consolidate between this range, and I think that it might be in that same type of scenario right now.
Sounds good. And then we have Jerry saying, what's going on with Apple? So, we have the SPY slowly creeping up, and then we have Apple just, I mean, they're not tanking. They're only down 0.3%, but, these are some decent sized red candles. It looks like they tried to run up, but they just got rejected. I'm not seeing any major catalysts for this. Yeah, I'm not seeing any major catalysts. It looks like it's just, I think it's just they couldn't break the high and they got rejected right at, what is that, like 135, you can say, and they have support right around, what is this, 133.75. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting on Apple here. Like you said, that 135 resistance seemed like it just failed to break today, so it just had to fall down off of that. I don't think that there's going to be any too big of catalyst with this. I think if there was a big catalyst, it would make it fall even more, but hopefully it can kind of hold this 1,000 SMA and the pre-market low kind of around like 133.80 or 134 today. It looks like we're starting to get a green candle now off of that 1,000. So hopefully we can see Apple start to recover. And sometimes we see this with some of these stocks where they start the morning bad and they go down and then they might recover throughout the day. So we'll just have to see what goes on with it.
Tom, you got to check out Tesla right now. It looked so good this morning, but it could not hold above that 745 resistance. It's pulling back a good amount right now. Look at this. Wow.
Yeah, this is actually crazy. Man, we've been watching it all morning. I can't believe the volatility on some of these EVs today. And man, it's still not even it's still not at the price it opened in pre-market, which is crazy, but it has a lot of movement. Watch for it to keep falling down to like 734, 736. I think it's looking pretty bearish now, falling below the 100 SMA as well. So it's just having lots of bad movement today, unfortunately. And right off the gate, though, it was looking great to the upside, and it just reversed. And sometimes we see that happen. And look at NIO really pulling back now with Tesla all the way down to this 41 support, and also right again off the 1,000 SMA again. So both of those are sitting right around there.
All right, and then we have Matthew saying, let's take a look at Disney. So they looked so good a couple minutes ago. It looks like they're pulling back a little bit right now. They're still up right around 1%. Disney, let's take a look at it. The daily looks pretty decent. It has a 35% implied volatility. If we just trying to see if there's any major levels, we have a pretty big support right around 180. Matthew, I'm not sure if you're looking at this for like a swing trade or a long-term hold or just like a day trade. But overall, they have a pretty big support right around 180 on Disney. If we go to the hourly, yeah, I mean, they have a resistance right around 186. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, I really like that resistance as well. And it's looking like a pretty strange mover, I'll say. I do like the supports down here around like 181, 183. I like the movement on it today. It still looks pretty good to the upside, I think, even though it failed to break out above that resistance. I think that over the next couple days, we might see it kind of pull back up to the upside. If we look at the daily chart on Disney, it's actually down a little bit from the high around 203. I like the movement off the 100 SMA as well. So hopefully this stock can start to recover, because if not, it looks like it might start to really fall off, unfortunately. But with everything Disney has going on right now with Disney Plus and all their subscriber additions and stuff, I would really hope that they can keep going up. But at the same time, they have earnings coming up. Netflix just took a huge hit on earnings. So watch out, because Disney's another streaming service. And if Netflix lost millions and millions of subscribers, or they missed out on the estimate by millions, then that might actually affect Disney if people aren't like watching those services as much. Whenever Disney earnings come out in a couple weeks, it could really send them down too.
Yeah, it's actually a great point. I didn't even think of that. Netflix actually really missed their expectations with their subscriber numbers. And I know Disney was a large reason, or a really important reason their stock has been exploding over the past couple of years, is because of Disney Plus. And if they report some bad numbers, that can definitely hurt them in the short term. So definitely keep your eyes out for that. And then we have AJ asking about STLD. So let's take a look at it. On their max weekly, it looks like they have a lot of swings. Over the past 20 years, they went from $2 all the way up to 40, and then all the way back down to 5, and then all the way up to 50, and then all the way down to 15, and now they're all the way back up to right around 54. So they definitely like to swing around. What do you think?
Yeah, this is actually pretty insane, actually, Mike. The swings on this steel stock are pretty nuts. I know X is another steel stock, and that one's pretty volatile too. But this one's actually just really insane. I mean, I can't believe it. It is breaking out today, though, looking pretty good above that 5250 level over the past few days. And I actually love the movement today, hitting like 54. It's looking pretty nice, and it's definitely a good runner. But just watch out, because it could always pull back. It's ran so much today that I would almost expect it to stop eventually.
Sounds great. And then we have Hunter asking you why you went with T rather than Verizon. So, like, what do you like about T rather than Verizon?
Yeah, I honestly just think that there's a better dividend opportunity with T. And then also, T was down a lot at lows around support around $27, where it's hit a few times in the past and start to went up off of that level. And that's why I wanted to get them around that $27 level. I think that's a great area on AT&T to buy shares if you can get it that low. Up here at 31.30, I still think it's pretty good. But keep in mind, it's obviously a lot better if you're getting it at like 27 or 28. But like with Verizon, let's go to their chart. We can see Verizon's up quite a bit this year, up around resistances around $62. And this Verizon's still a very solid stock, very solid company to own, and a very good one, like very steady stock. It goes up. It doesn't go up or down too much. We can see it does have some swings, and it does look a little bit more solid than AT&T, but I think over the next couple of years, AT&T will kind of recover. And if they can come back up to like 37 or 40, it'll be an amazing stock. Plus, you're getting an even a higher dividend. So I just think going with those low prices here is my only reasoning. It's not really a reasoning that AT&T is a better company than Verizon or not. I'm just going for more of that growth factor, and then buying down here at support. If I could get Verizon, like if Verizon keeps going down and I could pick it up maybe around 52 or around 50, I think it would be awesome as well. But right now it's just a little high, and I just can't get as much growth out of the actual stock price.
Sounds great. Awesome stuff, Tom. And then I just want to take a look back to see, what's going on with the market. We have Tesla actually pulling back a decent amount. They are bouncing right off that 735 support right now, which is good to see. They tried to break their resistance right around 745, but it looks like it's not going to happen today. At least it looks like that for right now. If we go to SPY, it looks like they have a decent sized red candle. Nothing crazy, but they are definitely pulling back a little bit. Apple is pulling back a little bit. They actually broke support right around 134, and they're testing support right around 133.75, which is interesting to see. We also have IV rising on that, so definitely be on the lookout. We have the VIX down a little bit, but it is creeping up. So yeah, or the VIX index is up around 3%, but VXX is down around 0.5% from yesterday or from Friday's close. So looks like we have some interesting movement in the market today. The main thing I would say to watch out for is just Tesla's movement. They were really trying to break that resistance and run up today, but it looks like it got rejected pretty hard.
Yeah, watch for them to possibly trade between this range all day long, somewhere between like 735 and the upper level around 745 to 748. Watch for them to maybe stay between there until earnings happen after close. Anything can happen with these earnings coming up though. We could see an end of day run up on Tesla in anticipation of these earnings, or an end of day an end of day sell off maybe. It just depends what goes on, but I really like Tesla today. It's had a lot of good movement to the upside and the downside. Hopefully it can hold these supports and then come back up. I think it'll make a lot of good day trading opportunities here on it. And just overall, Tesla's always a pretty good stock to trade. And whenever we look at that daily, I really like it above this $700 level. And I think as long as we're holding that level and we're staying above 700, I think it's going to be a pretty good trade. And we're at 737 right now, and I really like it all up to like 775 or 780 at the top of this channel. I just think on the daily and on the longer term outlook, that's a pretty good level, 780, and it's pretty safe too. You're only around 40 points out of the money right now, and it's not too bad.
All right, well, Tom, check out AMD. This one's up around 2% this morning. It's really running up ahead of earnings. It looks like they broke out of your little support line right there, or resistance, I should say. It looks pretty decent. They do have earnings tomorrow after close. They are breaking out, but they do have a pretty strong resistance. Where would you say, like right around like 85 or like 84.50 or so that they're at right now? Actually, I'm trying to get an exact level for everyone. So yeah, it looks like right around 84.50 they do have a resistance, and a little resistance right around 84.75. I think this one looks pretty good for like a pre-earnings run-up day trade. Like especially if we could see like a little pullback. Like it looks like intraday they're a little bit overextended. For the most part, they've been going straight up all morning. So if they could pull back, I think it looks pretty decent.
Yeah, for sure. And that upper resistance around 84.50 was posing as a pretty good level. And then, like you said, it just broke it today. So that's awesome to see. Hopefully, we can keep going up with AMD. I really like it. And if we go to that max daily chart, AMD's been looking great above $80, holding that support around, let's just say 75. It would have been an amazing pickup anywhere around there. This stock's amazing. They're an amazing sector. They do CPUs and GPUs, kind of like Nvidia's doing now. And I just think it's a great stock. I mean, anywhere around 80 bucks could have been a great pickup for shares on this pretty safely. I mean, this stock's going nowhere. They do technology, some of the best technology for the future, and it's just a great company, and I really like it above that resistance today. Now it's at 84.70, so it's just continuing to run. Like you said, it's been almost straight up, so you have to be pretty careful because there could always be a pullback, but man, it's looking amazing above these levels. And if it keeps running, I mean, over the next few days, I wouldn't expect this to maybe hit 90 or even go retest $100 over the next couple weeks.
All right, and then we have Click saying, do you think we are going to have a red day? So it's so early in the day. The market's only been open for about half an hour, so it's way too early to say that. If we just look and see how everything's moving right now, we are green for the most part, and you know, some of the bigger stocks are green. They have been pulling back a little bit, but I think it's just way too early to give like a final answer for that one. And then we have Matthew saying, MA looking like it's breaking out. So let's take a look. MA, it is breaking out a little bit. It's up around 1%. I'm trying to get some. Oh yeah, actually, you're right for sure. It actually has resistance right around 390. It is breaking out right now. And then one thing to keep in mind is that it does have earnings pretty soon. They have earnings on the 29th before open. But yeah, you're right. It definitely is breaking out.
Yeah, they hit all-time highs, and now they're like actually dipping back down, and they're holding this 390 support pretty well. But the way that they broke highs and then dipped back down looks a little bit worrisome to me. Hopefully, it's not like a fake out and it doesn't start really running down. Hopefully, they can get back up there and maybe hit like 392 or 393 today.
Sounds great. Trying to see what's moving. It looks like the SPY is trying to come back up. We have Shopify up. We have Boeing breaking out. Yeah, Boeing's actually breaking out pretty well right now, which is great to see. Then we have Raphael saying GSX. Wow, so this thing's up around 20% today, Tom. I'm pretty sure they actually had some news. It looks like they're going to change their ticker symbol, and it looks like they may have reported earnings. Or no, that was What was that? Was that a couple days ago? Yeah. So overall, actually, some of their financial numbers are coming out. The news is kind of confusing on Thinkorswim, but they definitely are running up around 20%. They're changing their ticker symbol from GSX to GOTU. So definitely looks pretty interesting. Let's take a look at their daily chart. It looks pretty good. I know we had a lot of people trading this last week, and the bot actually called out calls very early in this bounce back up. I'm trying to see the exact date, but the bot actually had an amazing play on this one. It called it out calls on 416, so it looks pretty good, and I can definitely see it continuing up.
Yeah, that was actually the first green day on that bounce back up, and it did have a couple red days. Hopefully, it didn't shake too many people out because it had a couple pretty volatile red days, and then now posted a 20% day where we're breaking out pretty significantly. So it's been a pretty volatile stock to trade, and man, that news that you said about it changing tickers and stuff being a little confusing, it's definitely some crazy news. So go read up on the news if you guys are going to trade this, but definitely a crazy stock. A lot of volatility today. There is a resistance up here intraday around 32.50, and we are starting to go down off of that. So be a little careful, but it's definitely a runner, and it looks like one of those stocks. If we go to the daily, I know, Mike, we were talking about this a little last week, but it looks like there's so much room to the upside here. I mean, obviously targeting $35 is a pretty safe level, but man, it could go way higher than that, possibly to 40 or even 50 or 60 over the next couple months if we see a big move like we've seen in the past. And this stock is definitely no slouch, and it's had big moves like that before, so it could definitely do it again.
For sure. And then we have Justin saying MVIS is running. I sold a 25 strike call when it was at $10. Well, I'm sure you're still in a good position, though. It's better to be safe than sorry, but MVIS is definitely running. Looks like they're holding that support right around $22 right now. They have resistance right around $23.38, and then more resistance right around $24. But it definitely looks good. I'm not sure what your average is, but you never know. You might be free and clear with that call. I mean, it is, yeah, your call is right at 25, so it's a little bit higher than the all-time high, and they have earnings coming up pretty soon. So overall, it looks like you're in a pretty good position if you're selling calls on it. What do you think?
Yeah, it looks pretty good. I mean, it might have an upper resistance here around 24 where it might like double top or something like that. But the stock overall is looking great, heading back up to those highs. And I think that if we can hit those highs again tomorrow, it would be amazing. But we've had two such great days in a row on this stock, two huge green candles. So just be very careful. We can see in the past it's been very volatile. I'm almost more of neutral on it at the level it's at right now, just because it looks like it might post lower highs. But if we can keep running today and we can break the high 23.38, definitely watch out for like $24 or $25.
Sounds great. And then we have AG saying, hit the like button. Help out these guys? It's free. Yeah, definitely hit the like button. Subscribe to this channel if you're not already. Text stocked up to 39970. The phone number is towards the top of the screen. Basically market updates and things like that. Thank you guys so much for joining. If you just joined the stream, let us know what tickers you're watching, and Tom and I will cover them. We have B saying DOW. So let's take a look at DOW. It looks like it's doing decent today. It's only up around 0.8%, but this is a really slow mover. They have support right around $60 a share, and they have resistance right around 65. Like I said, it is a pretty slow mover, so I'm not sure if you're looking at this for like a day trade or a swing trade or what, but what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I've actually traded this one in the past from around 40 up to like $50 a long time ago before the virus happened, but it's looking pretty good. There's a decent support here around 60 that we're bouncing off of and holding. So hopefully it can do that. He might have meant the Dow indice or the Dow 30, which would be like /YM for the Dow Jones futures. Maybe he meant that. And those are looking pretty good today. They are looking kind of like the SPY, how they went up, now they went down. But overall, it's just looking pretty neutral, I'd say, on the Dow indice itself. But that Dow chemical stock is looking pretty good, though, off of that support around $60.
All right, and then we have T talking about SPCB. So if we pull this ticker up, it's up around 5%, which is awesome to see. This is a penny stock. So it's pretty risky. It's only around like $1.53, so it's definitely risky. I'm trying to pull up like a longer term chart. Yeah, their longer term chart definitely is a little scary, but sometimes these penny stocks they go from $1.50 all the way up to $10 or $3, or sometimes it goes from $1.50 all the way down to 30 cents. So they're super risky, but it looks decent. I mean, I don't really trade penny stocks. Do you have any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, it's not my favorite. I mean, I've seen some penny stocks with a little bit better movement than this, but it looks like if you can catch it on supports and if you do your due diligence, you can catch it at good levels and trade it pretty nicely. I like that it doesn't, it still has big volatile days. Like today's it's up 5%, but at the same time for a penny stock, at least we're not seeing big like 100% days or like days where it falls 50%. So that's always good to see. It still has good days where it's moving like maybe 5 to 10 to 20%. So at least it's not too volatile for a penny stock.
Yep, and then let's see. I just want to pull up what the market's doing. It looks like we're like, what is this, like 15 cents away from an all-time high on the SPY, Tom. Do you think we're gonna hit it?
Yeah, I mean, I personally think we are. I mean, we're seeing lots of stocks kind of go green today. I think that that's a pretty good thing. The SPY itself, 418.25. Let's hit it. Let's break new highs today. I think we might do it. All morning I've been kind of looking at SPY coming back to the upside every day. You just cannot stop the SPY. No matter what happens, it seems like the SPY is hitting new highs and new highs every day as we go forward. So definitely watch out 418.25. I'm actually watching for 420 to be a pretty good resistance. Not trying to be funny or anything. I think that could be actually a pretty solid level at 420. It's just a pretty solid level. And when you're at all time highs, you can't really guess the top too well. So you'd have to go for some solid levels like 420, 425. 430 until we start to see some movement and we can start to guess the resistances based on actual movement, not just off of big price levels.
All right, and then we have Matthew talking about how Facebook is running. So they are running. They're up around 1.5% today, which is good to see. We have the SPY running up. Facebook has resistance right around 306, and then they have more resistance right around, what is this, 309. I like Facebook, but over like the past couple months, they've been kind of hard to trade because there's so many like resistance levels with it. So I'm definitely have my eye on it. It is breaking out, like you said. And I think they actually have earnings this week. What is this? Earnings on the 28th, it looks like. Yeah, earnings on the 28th after market close. So I'll definitely keep my eyes on it. It's definitely starting to pop back up a little bit.
Yeah, and I've heard that part of the pop has to do with something that Apple did. I remember Apple changed like some of their policies on their app store or something like that, and apparently Facebook like had to adhere to those policies, or they had to change, or Apple had to change. I don't remember the whole story, but I saw a few articles saying that Facebook was up last week because of Apple, and that might be a pretty good thing over the next couple months. I mean, we've seen Facebook really start to fall off from all-time highs, so hopefully we can see it kind of get back up there around 315. It was looking bad a few months ago. I really do like it though around 315 if we can get back up there. But right now we're at like 305, so there's definitely a lot of resistances on the way back.
All right, and then we have Zachary saying, do you guys have an opinion on PSFE? Something I've looked into but can't get an idea on it. So let's take a look at it. If we look at their charts, let me pull it up real quick. It looks okay. I have not done too much research on this stock fundamentally, but technically they are bouncing right off like that $12 support. I don't know. Like I'm not like a huge fan of it, but I'm not really against this stock either. I'm just kind of neutral on it.
Yeah, for sure. And this company PaySafe, I've heard of it a lot with payments, and I know that they've used some of those cards. I think like you can go to how you can like go to Walgreens and buy some of those cards for like a year of PlayStation Plus or some points for a game or something like that. I think that they make like cards and stuff like that, but I don't really know what they do fundamentally. I've definitely heard of PaySafe though. I know it's a pretty popular company and the stock looks pretty interesting. I mean, it's actually right around support around $12.50 as well. So hopefully it can kind of move back up. It looks like Palantir and a whole bunch of those stocks that really flew up over those couple months where we saw a lot of those smaller cap stocks fly. And then now it's just pulling back just like all of them are. Like if we go look at PLTR, it's down as well. This isn't a small company by any means, but Zoom even was going up a lot. Now it's down. There's just a whole lot of companies like this that have been going up. Now they're down. Even like NIO is a pretty good example of one like that. And it's just like a whole bunch of those companies. Like, I don't want to call them like the hype stocks or something, but it seems like all those stocks that had a lot of hype around them are all pulling back right now.
Yeah, I'm actually on their website right now. PaySave it. Like I'm trying to get like a good description of them, but looks like they provide simple and secure payment solutions to businesses of all sizes around the world. So I know that's super broad, but just to give you guys an idea of what they do. So yeah, I mean they look okay. I don't think they're amazing or like bad. I'm just pretty neutral on that ticker. And then we have I'm Fear saying I did a cash secured put for this week for MVIS at the $10 strike. He actually said the May 21st expiration. So let's take a look. The $10 strike, that's awesome to see. It definitely doesn't look like you'll be assigned. And even if you are, you're picking it up at, what is that, like $10. So definitely, I'm a fan of it. I think it's a win-win, especially if you like the stock for the long term.
Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one he got there. That's actually very low on this. So if you get it at $10, that's great because $10 is actually like the bottom support on this. So that's actually a really good trade he did there. I think that's pretty safe and probably has like a 99% chance of working out or something like that.
Yeah, something crazy like that. And then we have Young saying, I am watching Snap and AMC. So let's take a look at Snap. They're down a little bit today. They're just kind of consolidating, not doing too much. They have intraday support right around 59, and then they also have support around like $57.50. But Tom, we got to check out AMC. We talked about it earlier in the stream. They're starting to pop back up a little bit. They're already up 13% on the day. They have resistance right around $12. What do you think?
Yeah, boom, there we go. We were talking about it whenever it was at like $11. So big movement out of this stock on the daily. Like we said, I think that was the best chart for this stock was the daily, and it really started to pop off of that, moving above the 1,000 SMA now. Definitely watch out for $12 though, like Mike said. I think that can get pretty volatile around there, but the stock overall is looking amazing. I'm sure lots of people are trading it, and it must start. I bet you it's really starting to pop up on some people's radars today now as well, that it's really moving. And it also had a great intraday move off this 100 SMA. The purple line had a great candle come down and touch that. So that was actually a pretty good opportunity. And also it was at that 1070 support. So it was a double whammy off the SMA and the support. So great intraday moves out of AMC. I love to see it out of stocks like this. Hopefully we can see more movement tomorrow and we see another big green candle, another 10% day. Sounds amazing out of these stocks like AMC, GME, and others. Just more opportunities to day trade. The more opportunities, the better for me.
I just find it crazy how AMC still has a crazy high short float. The short float's at like 32% right now. Like I just think like it's crazy like how how high that that percentage is still. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So
I think that the main reason is just the sector that they're in. I mean, we see all of these companies, unfortunately, that deal in the movie industry just going down south lately. Like we've seen tons of movie theaters going down south. We've seen a lot of like movie makers, like the producers, the production companies going down. But AMC itself, they've been saying over the next few years, as people don't go out as much and stuff, people aren't going to be going to the movie theaters and stuff like that. But I don't know. The AMC around me is packed. I don't know if you have an AMC by you, but the AMC theater by me is always packed. So it seems like that they get a lot of business, at least in my area. But I will say, I don't know what to think about it for the long run because we saw Blockbuster and some of those stocks in that category go bankrupt, and they didn't even just file for bankruptcy; they're actually straight up gone. So that can happen with some of these other stocks like AMC as well. And I think that these institutions are betting on it more of over the next few years rather than this year, because even right now, like let's say the institution shorted AMC, if their average short price is around $9, even if it goes up to 18 or $30, a lot of these institutions are going to be able to cover. They're going to be able to cover themselves whenever it goes up that much, whereas a lot of traders won't be able to. So keep that in mind as well, is that they can just keep averaging in as it goes up.
I think the greed from these institutions, like we saw back in January, is also playing a role. The fact that GME and I believe AMC had over 100% short float, like that just goes to show you how greedy they were with, just hammering these stocks down. And, they were so greedy, and they ended up getting, they definitely paid the price for it, both of those stocks just exploded with short squeezes. And I just don't understand why they're still holding such a high percentage of this stock short. I guess we'll find out over the next couple months and the next couple years. But I just think it's an interesting play, and for the short term, I think it looks pretty good actually. It's up around 12%. It is extremely, extremely, extremely risky. But yeah, they have a short term resistance right around like $11.50 as well. But I'll definitely have my eyes on it.
Yeah, for sure. And do you think that any of those institutions, like whenever AMC was flying up to like $20, do you think that they opened any new short positions, maybe around like 15 or 17 or 20, like, somewhere up there at the top at those highs? Because it seems like it would have been a pretty smart play if they did it.
I mean, I would assume so. I mean, it was such like a confusing situation. I'm sure some fund definitely did, but I know like the problem was like it was just hard to like even like borrow more shares too short. So I would assume so. Obviously there's no way to tell, but I would definitely say so.
Yeah, and you're right. It was hard to get shares around then as well. So that could have been a pretty big factor, but hopefully AMC can start to move up. It's looking pretty good here in the short term. This setup on the daily actually looks pretty good. I mean, definitely watch out for it to go up again tomorrow. I think it might be done with its rise today. We saw some pretty good resistance here around 1155. Now we're seeing some good consolidation. So hopefully today it can kind of stay neutral. And then tomorrow we see another big pop out of it. I think that it definitely has the potential to do it. The daily chart looks great. The intraday chart looks pretty good as well. So overall, AMC has a lot of momentum behind it right now. And it looks like we're starting to pop. And definitely watch for it to break $12. If it breaks that, watch for 13, then 14. But I think it looks like it's pretty good, Mike. I mean, on the daily, it looks pretty interesting, actually. I'm going to really actually be watching it.
For sure. And then we have, let's see, we have I'm Fearsing. Home Depot is in the red a small bit. Have a put on it. Let's get that correction. I really hope it does correct for you. I've been watching this one for the past couple weeks, and every time it seems like it's going to fall, it just rockets right back up. So I really hope it falls for you. I think it's definitely overextended. They do have a pretty strong support right around 320. But yeah, I really do hope it falls for you. I've been watching this one for a while.
Yeah, I mean, off of technicals and SMAs, right now is looking like one of the better opportunities to get into HD to the downside, or the stock movement looks like it's going to keep going down. There is a pretty good support here around 320 that it hit last Friday and last Thursday and held that pretty good and went back up. So watch for it to go down below that, but we're below the 100 SMA right now. We're hovering around that 320 support. So it looks like if we can break below that, it could be a pretty good play to the downside. And I know a lot of people have been waiting for these stocks to go down, but like you said, Mike, they just keep coming back up and making everyone frustrated. And it's just one of those things that happens with these big stocks like Home Depot, AMD, Nvidia, and others. They don't like to go down. They really like to rocket back up. People and all the institutions really like to buy it back up as well and grab shares on red days. So that's another big factor with Home Depot as well. But it is up so much that from an analyst perspective, I guess, I would say that it has to go down over the next couple months. But just keep in mind, it might go down kind of like this. So if you just grab puts and it has all this volatile movement where it goes down, goes up, goes down, goes up, and just slowly goes down, you could still lose on those puts because it's having so much movement to the upside and to the downside. You're going to get killed on your time decay as well. So there's going to be a whole bunch of different factors going into these puts right now. And just keep in mind, like I said, if it goes flat or something, those puts are going to get hurt just from time decay and just being flat.
For sure. And guys, let us know what stocks you're watching. I know we have AMD creeping up a little bit. It's up around 3.5%. We have IV rising too. The SPY is getting close to that all-time high. It's not there just yet, but it's getting really close. The all-time high is around $418.25. And then the high of today was around $418.17. So we're really close to it. It looks like there's a good shot that we'll break it, but nothing for sure just yet. I'm trying to see what's moving. I know CCIV is exploding, Tom. CCIV is definitely exploding. It is up around 9% today. It's actually at the high of day right now. Do you have any thoughts on it? I think it looks pretty good for like a dip buy and, maybe hold it for a couple weeks or a couple months.
Yeah, and what's the name of the company that CCIV
Lucid. Lucid.
went public for? Okay, yeah, Lucid Motors, that's right. Yeah, those SPAC deals are getting crazy, but but Lucid's I think that's going to be an amazing company. It looks pretty good. They make pretty good cars as well. I love it off these supports down here at the lows around $20. It's still right around 22, so not a bad pickup. It had highs around 64, but just keep in mind that it had a lot of volatility when it first dropped, so don't expect it to hit 64 again over the next year or 2 years. It might take a while to hit that, but some of these EV stocks have been nuts. I love how you can get some of them very low right now, like CCIV. Also, some of the charging ones like BLNK. I think that there's just a lot of opportunities in the EV sector right now. Even with like NIO for a Chinese EV play, this could be amazing. $35 support's been holding up very well on NIO. It's looking very good, I think, for these companies, Mike. And I know that you were probably selling some puts on NIO around 35, right?
Oh, for sure. I'm looking to sell some more puts on NIO and especially CCIV. So I think they're total win-win setups. But then we have Matt saying, what is Facebook's resistance? So let's take a look at it, Tom. I'm trying to pull up the chart right now. It looks like they have, let me pull it up. So we have resistance definitely at 306. We have some more resistance at like 308. And then actually 308 is going to be a pretty strong resistance level. Do you have any other ones you see? I see a little bit at like 310 as well.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty good levels like what you said. 306, 308, 310. Anywhere like up in that zone is like the chop zone, I guess you could say, Mike. I know that you like to say chop, but it definitely seems like the chop zone up there. There's lots of potential resistances, so watch out. I'm not saying it's not going to go up, but just expect for some volatile days. Like it might hit 308 tomorrow, come down to 306, and then move up to 310 the next day. So just watch out for these levels. I think it's going to be pretty good. For intraday, definitely watch 306. We're right around there right now. And it's just going to be pretty volatile, I think, especially like with what's going on with Apple. And there's just a whole bunch of stuff going on. Let's see whenever Facebook reports their earnings. So they report at 428. So it looks like they're going to do that on Wednesday. So it's going to be a pretty volatile week, I think. We might retest all-time highs if we have good earnings around 316. But I would not hold anything going up into those earnings. I would just try to play this intraday. So if we see another move up and it moves up above like 305.80, maybe you could get in really quickly for a quick call, like a quick scalp, maybe if it's 306 or just above that. But with what's going on, I think we might see some movement back to the downside or just some consolidation today.
Sounds great. And then we have Guy asking about FCEL. So let's take a look, Tom. It's down around 1.5% today. It has a huge support at $10, which can be amazing. I like this one for a dip buy right now. FCEL and PLUG move pretty, they move in sync, you can say. I actually like both of them for a dip buy right now. If you like their sector, they can be great, but it is going to be a little bit, it's going to take some time for this setup to play out. It might be a couple weeks or even a couple months for this one to, rebound. But if it does rebound, I think it has a lot of potential, especially at these levels.
For sure. And it's really held that $8 level very nicely. I think honestly, right now, around $10 is a great time to pick up shares. Like if you guys like FCEL or you like BLNK, or what was the other one you said, Mike?
Plug, PLUG.
Plug, yeah, Plug. That's the big one. Plug Power. If you like those stocks right now, it could be good opportunities for cash secured puts or just shares. And just keep in mind, if you get 100 shares, you could then sell some calls. So you could go out and sell the $14 call or the $16 call and make some weekly premium back on that as long as the stock stays below 16. But if it goes above 16, then you sell out at 16. So you're still getting a solid move from $10 to $16 and with a chance to make like an extra 20 or $25 a week. So there's definitely great opportunities right now. I know Mike and a lot of people are taking advantage of them. And in the Discord, Mike's been calling out some great plays on cash secure puts. So definitely get in the Discord and check those out because Mike, some of those call outs have been amazing, especially the ones on the EV stocks. Those are just my personal favorites, but and DraftKings is one of my favorites as well. So definitely a lot of opportunities and lots of great call outs.
For sure, yeah. Cash secured puts are amazing. And then we have Matt saying, what should I pay attention to? I don't want to lose money. So if you're looking at day trades, let me pull up some setups that are moving. We have CCIV moving, FCX is moving a little bit, Palantir is moving a little bit. But if you don't want to lose money, the best thing to do would sell cash secured puts. Like if we go to CCIV, they have a pretty low margin requirement. Their IV is relatively high, their stock price is cheap, and they're not a bad long-term hold. So, if you sell, let's say we go to like May 7th, if you sell the 21 strike put for May 7th on CCIV, you're going to get paid $100 for doing that. Now, to enter that trade, you're going to need around $2,000. So, if you do $100, let me pull this up real quick. So if you take $100 and divide it by 2,000, you're going to get, what is that, like a 5% return? And that's pretty awesome for like 2 weeks. And in the worst case scenario, you just buy shares of CCIV at $21 each. So I would really look at like selling puts. It's a total like win-win if you do it correctly. But you're definitely not going to be rich from this strategy, but it's definitely really safe.
Yeah, and keep in mind if you like the stock for the only, well, I should say, keep in mind only do it if you like the stock for the long term. If you don't like CCIV for the long term, don't do it because you might get stuck with the shares. And if that does happen, then you're just going to want to sell them right away. And sometimes that can kind of compound the loss if you get shares after the stock like is starting to go down or something weird like that. So just be careful. And it's just one of those things like I love doing it on stocks like on AT&T. We can see T down here. It supports around 29. Whenever it was hitting 29, that could have been great opportunities. Ones on 3M as well. Safer stocks like KO even I think are great to do that on as well. So for me, I like doing it on the safer stocks or only ones I said like if you like it for the long term, like how I like DraftKings. I think that could be great opportunities as well, but only do it if you like it for the long term. If you're not comfortable holding the shares for like 3 months to 6 months, don't do it because you might get stuck in that scenario.
All right, and then we have Keith saying Fubo's looking decent, and it is looking decent. It has a pretty strong support right around $20. I think it does look pretty decent. IV is rising a little bit. And then we have Matthew saying TTF has a MACD crossing. Let's take a look at it. Yeah, not bad. It has support right around 16. Definitely not bad. So yeah, guys, let us know what stocks you're watching. And guys, text us. Text stocked up to 39970. Basically market updates, what's going on with the market and stuff like that. So feel free to text us. Tom, do you have any, top stocks you're watching for today? Any important news you're looking out for this week?
Yeah, I mean, man, there's those Tesla earnings coming out today after hours. I'm really going to be watching that. I'm also going to be watching Tesla for a possible recovery today, possibly back up to like 745 or 748, which they hit earlier this morning. It's looking pretty good. It consolidated for what looks like about 30 minutes pretty nicely down here around 734. So hopefully we can hold this and start to come back up today. It's looking very nicely. We have tons of big earnings coming up this week. I mean, tons. We have huge stocks like Microsoft, Apple, Tesla, AMD, a lot more as well. And then also we have Powell speaking Wednesday, Biden proposing something to Congress Wednesday night and giving details into his plan. And he's expected to talk about taxes again. And we all know how that went last week with the taxes. So watch out. There's a lot of big catalysts coming out this week. Definitely going to have a lot of fun on like Wednesday night into Thursday. I think we're going to see a lot of movement. Watch/ES, which is S&P 500 futures on Wednesday night. I think you're going to see a pretty big surprise out of the overall market.
Well, sounds great. Thank you guys so much for joining us this morning. We had a great time. We had a great time. Thank you guys so much for joining us. We hope you have a great trading day, and we will see you guys in the video later today.